Belgium apologized for mixed-race kidnappings in colonial era. Zimbabwean lawyer says court wigs are out of date. 77-year-old woman graduates from university in Nigeria, and 70 most outstanding Nigerian healthcare professionals recognized and celebrated. Hello then, welcome to Rich World Television News. I am Veronica Obadara. Belgian Prime Minister Charles Michel has apologized for the kidnapping of thousands of children born to mixed-race couples during colonial rule in Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Rwanda. The Métis children born to Belgian settlers and local women were forcibly taken to Belgium and fostered by Catholic orders and other institutions. About 20,000 children are believed to have been affected. Most fathers refuse to acknowledge the paternity of their children, and these children were born in the 1940s and 1950s and taken to Belgium from 1959 until the independence of each of the three colonies. Some of the children never received Belgian nationality and remained stateless. Speaking in the Belgian parliament, Mr. Michel said the country had breached the children's basic human rights, seeing them as a threat to the colonial system. Michel said Belgium stripped the children of their identity, stigmatized them, and split up siblings. In Zimbabwe, a leading lawyer has told the BBC that buying lawyers' wigs from London is both costly and anachronistic. Doug Coulthard was reacting to news reported in the local media that Zimbabwe's legal authorities have ordered over $155,000 worth of wigs for judges and barristers from a specialist shop in the UK. Mr. Coulthard told the BBC that the money spent on wigs could have been used to renovate the dilapidated courts instead. In addition, he does not support the practice of wearing wigs. It harks back to the colonial era when courts appear less accessible and more intimidating for ordinary people, he said. In Nigeria, a 77-year-old woman graduated from University of Lagos recently. She was among the 1,008 students of the Faculty of Education who were awarded a first degree at the institution's 2017-2018 convocation ceremonies. She bagged a first degree in gardens and counseling. She added that she went for the degree program because she did not want to sit at home after retirement. According to the woman, no one should feel too old to go to school, as learning remains a lifelong adventure. She said education has no limit. It's from cradle to death for one to add value to the society. And still some stories about Nigeria's 70 most outstanding Nigerian healthcare professionals in the United Kingdom were recently recognized and celebrated for their contributions to the National Health Service, NHS. Awards were presented to consultants, nurses, midwives, mental health nurses, surgeries, general practitioners, dentists, carers, medical technicians, trauma care, and other deserving healthcare professionals. The occasion was graced by creme de la creme in the Nigerian UK diaspora. His Excellency, Ambassador Oguntade, the Nigerian High Commissioner to the Court of St. James's, Honorable Abike Dabiri, Special Assistant to the President on Diaspora Affairs, and Professor Adewale, Nigeria's Minister of Health. All the dignitaries at the event were Lord Victor Adebowale, CEO, Turning Point; Nero Ugujabo, Special Advisor to the British Prime Minister Theresa May on social justice and young people; Evan Cogill, Director of Race Equality, NHS; Dr. Dakwa Williams, philanthropist and community leader; Dr. Alistair Sheode, founder and CEO of Ben Television; and Anyo the First, a cultural ambassador. That's our news for tonight, but we have newspaper review for you. We're looking at headlines from some popular newspapers in the United Kingdom. We're taking this news from Evening Standard and Metro newspapers. Both are free newspapers in the United Kingdom. First headline on Metro newspaper yesterday: British public will not get final say on Brexit deal. The British public won't get a final say on any Brexit deal after MPs shut down all four alternatives put before the House of Commons. A motion to support a confirmatory public vote was defeated with 292 votes to 280, a smaller majority than before. The option was previously tabled by Labour former Minister Dame Margaret Beckett and was defeated by 295 votes to 268. This time around, the motion was drawn up by Labour MPs Peter Kyle and Phil Wilson, who argued that the Brexit debate needs to go back to the people. Mr. Kyle said that MPs could still be debating Brexit for weeks or months to come, and that a confirmatory vote could start a process of reconciliation in the country. That news is from the Metro yesterday. It's headlined, British public will not get final say on Brexit deal. MPs decide. Now, still on Brexit and the Metro newspaper, it's good to talk the May-Corbyn summit. So finally, the Prime Minister, Theresa May, and Jeremy Corbyn have had a meeting. Theresa May and Jeremy Corbyn held constructive talks on Wednesday, but admitted they had a way to go to break the Brexit deadlock. The Prime Minister faced fury from her own MPs in the Commons after reaching out to the Labour leader. But a poll by YouGov found 51% of people support the negotiations between the political enemies, with 28% opposed and the rest unsure. It's good to talk. The May-Corbyn summit was in the Metro newspaper on Thursday. From the Evening Standard, police step up patrols amid fears the random knife man has struck again. Police increased patrols in Edmonton amid fears that a knife man behind a series of random attacks on strangers may have struck again, and this man is still at large. The latest victim, a man in his 30s, was fighting for his life after being stabbed in the back at 5 a.m. on Tuesday. He collapsed in Aberdeen Road, the scene of the first of 4 attacks over the weekend, which left 2 people critically injured. That report, police step up patrols amid fears the random knife man has struck again, is from the Evening Standard on Tuesday. Opera singer stole 100K from widow to fund his classic cars. One of UK's leading opera singers cheated a widow out of more than £100,000 and spent her savings on his collection of classic cars, the court heard. Andrew Amdo is 48 and accused of swindling a 67-year-old Elizabeth Shaheen out of money she has put aside to spend on underprivileged children to take them to Disneyland in Paris. He was also allegedly given £25,000 by Mrs. Shaheen to buy a harp, but spent just over a third of the money on the instrument. So, still coming from the Evening Standard, opera singer stole £100,000 from widow to fund his classic cars. And finally, I will take this one again, which is on Brexit, Evening Standard. We are on brink of historic split, top Tories say. 20 MPs won't back May in confidence vote as cabinet discusses long delay. Theresa May was warned that up to 20 Conservative MPs would pull down her government rather than be bulldozed into a Brexit compromise. The warning of a split came as the Prime Minister came under pressure from a group of cabinet ministers, including Amber Rudd, David Gauke and Greg Clark, to ask the European Union for a long extension to Article 50, delaying Brexit for months and forcing her to agree to hold European Parliament elections. From the Evening Standard on Tuesday, we are on brink of historic split. top tourists say to Theresa May. And that's all the news we have for you on Rich World Television. Thank you for staying with us. Have a good day.